Hello and welcome to our Christmas edition of Shropshire Business Live TV.
This one's always a little bit different, a bit more informal, a bit of a drop-in day really to catch up with some friends and connections that we've spoken to over the year, and also a few new faces as well. Coming up on the show today, we've got some music later on from a group in Albrighton that's made a festive tune for a very good cause. We're also going to be catching up with our friends from ACO to find out what they're doing on their community team, and also some top tips as well if you're finding it tough at Christmas, as some people actually do, the mental side of it and how to cope, some coping tools. Marcus Matthews will be along to tell us about that. But first, a man who has got the dress up for Christmas memo.
You got the memo, I
Nick
didn't.
Jones.
I got the memo. I can lend it you, Chris.
Chris tells me he's got Christmas socks on.
That's as Christmas as we get.
I can't see him from here.
No.
Same as in the way.
Now, Nick, you're a new parent, aren't you? You've got a new addition to your household. Is he running rings around you? Tell us all about it.
He is, yeah. So Wilson, Black Labrador. We've the proud parents. I think we've had him now a week and a half. He's 10 weeks old, so he's well trained at the moment. We had a couple of sleepless nights to start with. We're getting in a routine, all of us. It's a new way of life. It's not just for Christmas. it is a commitment. But Zane, our youngest, who's now 16 in January, he's been on about a dog for about 10 years. And finally, you know, we've had rabbits, we've had guinea pigs, and it wasn't cutting it.
You've given in, have you?
We gave in.
Is this an early Christmas present then? Is it? Or?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. And he has taken part in some of the training, so it's quite good, really. We're all being trained.
Yeah.
What's Christmas like for you usually? Do you have particular traditions or routines? Or?
It's actually Christmas Day is quite non-traditional, so we don't really do the Christmas lunch thing. It can be buffet all day. It can be a takeaway from the day before that's then warmed up on the day. We're pretty unconventional. We used to spend time as a family, but we have people dropping in and things. This time we're over at the lodge at Anglesey for a few days and then back for New Year. So yeah, it's a bit here, there and everywhere. But Wilson's going to change the routine a little.
A little bit, I think. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, he's not had his second jab yet, so we can't walk too far, and he's only little. So
it's been kind of a nice, chilled out time then, Nick.
Yeah,
they say you can tell by the size of a dog's feet how big they're going to get.
Yeah.
That's what they told us the first time we had our first Labrador.
About that.
Well, good luck with that then. Yeah. Good luck with that.
No, he's
Take the benefits while you can.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you reflect on 2023? I mean, we were sat in these very chairs this time last year, contemplating what the year had in store. Has it panned out the way you thought?
As always, you can't believe it's 12 months ago we were sitting here dressed
really
ridiculously.
Scary.
I'm sure we've been dressed ridiculously since.
I always dress ridiculously.
Maybe the Christmas garb has since, but it's just amazing how the time goes, and every year seems to get quicker. And old people tell you that, and you think, when you're younger, you think, they're just getting old. But it does. And because you're looking at weekly, you're looking at monthly, you're looking at quarterly. All of a sudden, these milestones go, and then I was looking, as I do, I was looking on a life expectancy calculator this morning, trying to set some aspirations for a client. And I'm 52, and the average life expectancy for a 52-year-old in Shropshire is 84. So you think, okay, well, that's okay. There's still a decent length of time to go.
3 dogs in you yet, then?
3 dogs in me, absolutely. But that's life expectancy, healthy life expectancy, something else. So you may not be in the best of health for those last few years of life. So get on and do stuff now. That's
well, they say that, don't they? You know, you hear, don't you? Some people, they save and save and save for a rainy day, and they never get a chance for that rainy day to actually arrive, or for them to take advantage of it, do they? So.
Absolutely, yeah. It's all about balance. And when we were meeting during the pandemic, sometimes online, some of those shows, but it was about, okay, this is the rainy day. This is what everyone's been saving for. Get on and do things, but actually don't spend all your savings, because you may well be, for my age, you may be one of the 5% that lives till 100. So you're going to need money to last you through. Something to do in the downtime, in the holidays, if people have got a chance and they've not done it, is to get on the government gateway and look at your state pension entitlement. It confirms when, it confirms the age you're entitled to have it. It also confirms how much. And actually nowadays it lists your national insurance contribution history. So if you've got gaps in payments, either because you've been looking after the kids whilst they were growing up, or you've had spells in between work and things, you can see how many years you've got to go to make up the maximum to then be able to relax and know. And it's decent, it's £203 a week, which for a lot of people isn't enough, but it's a good stab towards.
That's it. That could be something to do for Boxing Day, because I think, isn't Christmas Day one of the days when most people do tax returns? Crazy
Tax returns or book summer holidays, don't they?
Or go shopping for houses.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I mean, actually, that knowing what you're actually going to get in your retirement, actually, it's a lot easier for you to find out for yourself now than it used to be, isn't it?
It used to be you had to fill a form in, and then you post it off, and then at some point you get a reply back, probably within a month maybe. and then it had somebody else's details in it. So it wasn't great. But nowadays, say once you've registered, you can log in, have a look, and keep your login details, and then keep refreshing, because there's going to be a rise in April. There's 8.5% rise already been announced. So your retirement is going to be going up, even if it's a while away yet. And the closer it is, the more important it is. So I say I'm 52. We have clients in their early 60s that are saying, right, in 4 years, I'm now going to do this. Sometimes they're going to stop working as they do now, and they're going to do something else for a spell. So they're going to pull off what they put aside themselves until the state pension kicks in, and then maybe turn down the dial a little bit on their own income, and then carry on with the state pension and all that stuff. So it's having that foresight to build enough of a pot that gives you a choice. 'Cause that's what we all want in life, isn't it? Having a choice.
Absolutely.
And if you've not then sort of contributed your maximum towards national insurance as you're approaching retirement, you can retrospectively go back and top it up, can't you?
Absolutely, yeah. You can buy some of those years that were missed, and financially it might make sense to do that. But again, when you're on your personal gateway, it will tell you the missed ones and how much it will cost to put that right, and then you can do the sums to say, is it worth it or not? And sometimes it's a gamble. You know, how long am I going to live in retirement? If you're one of those 5% that's 100, that will be quite a good gamble in your favour. If sadly you don't live that long after taking state benefits, then you know you're not going to make quite so much out of it. But now the inheritance rules on your own personal plans are much more fair than they ever were. So if you haven't bought an annuity, then your pot, your pension pot, will pass to your loved ones, free from inheritance tax. They can then use it as a pension pot to provide for their own needs, and then if they pass away and there's still money in the pot, it can go to children or grandchildren or great-grandchildren. So it may be that you're building this pot that you never get to spend, but the family will enjoy it, and not the tax man in the future.
Says a lot about what's on the telly on Christmas Day, doesn't it,
Absolutely,
when we think this is how we spend our time instead.
Yeah.
But this is at the end of the year and the start of a new year is when we just automatically reset on lots of things, don't we? We reflect, we check, we do a bit of an audit on our lives, don't we? So are there some other things that typically we are doing or we should be doing at this time of year then?
It's having, as you say, having the time to step away from the normal day routine, having the discipline to say, you know what, let's get a blank piece of paper. We've got a white table here. Let's get a blank piece of paper. Let's actually draw out, draft out what sort of lifestyle you're aiming for and at what age, and even between now and then, what do you do at the moment that you don't enjoy doing? Can it be that you can get somebody else to do it? Can you pay somebody else to do it? Can you have a member of staff that does that for you? If you're a business owner, are you still enjoying the demands of running a business? Does it make sense to now look at maybe evolving your business, selling it, or having some management buyout from internally? Or what does it look like? What's your sector like? And it's there's quite a lot of activity in Shropshire now for buying and selling of businesses. It's quite active at the moment. And there seems to be funding around, there seems to be people who do want to build and grow, and there are quite a few people who are tired. The pandemic has taken a bit out of some people. And now they're saying, no, I don't really enjoy this anymore. When's the best time? And there's never a perfect time, but if it feels about right, don't do it 6 months before and think, right, now I'm going to exit, and that's going to be the perfect time. Plan these things, if you can, 2 or 3 years in advance, and have some good ideas about how much you need to generate to create the rest of the life that you're looking for. Also, on the accountancy side, have, rather than just a bookkeeping accountant, have someone who's planning there to make the accounts look as good as possible, because for a potential purchaser, it's all about EBITDA, it's all about the profitability.
It's a fashion show, isn't it?
Yeah.
Fashion show, absolutely, yeah. So what's in there that we should have sorted out, that the new person's going to find in due diligence is going to damage the chances of a sale, or damage the value of a sale, and then get everything in order, get everything in order, and then move on with confidence.
And we're going to have a general election at some point next year, aren't we? So I bet you're looking forward to the potential changes in all the financial rules and regulations that will no doubt come on.
It's inevitable, isn't it? Whatever happens, whatever the colour of the new party, it's going to be change. There've already been headlines. They've just been headlines. So as we always say, don't change your plans now because of what might happen, but act now in the current rules. And if it is, you can stash more in a pension plan that might be changed in the future. Do it now while you can.
Are you always looking ahead then at the news as well to think, oh, this could be coming along in the future, or things like that?
We do, just so we're aware of what's going on and what the talk is, what the chatter is, but mostly we're talking clients out of the cliff top.
Yes.
don't act now, because that might not happen. You know,
do people react like that quickly? If they see something, they'll get in touch with you?
Very much, yeah. I'm really worried about this. My tax-free cash is going to change for my pension. But it might do, it might not do. We've been talking about it for 7 or 8 years, and it's still not changed. There have been some massive changes recently that they're talking about undoing if Labour were to get in. There was a lifetime allowance, a maximum you can have in a pension. that's now been removed. That might be brought back. They were talking about inheritance tax that's been, a big earner, over £7 billion to the Treasury. That could be just waived. I can't see it really myself.
There was talk of changing some of that, even with Jeremy Hunt's statement a few weeks ago, wasn't there? And that never actually happened.
Yeah, so a tax giveaway, there might be some more in April, because there'll be another, that'll be before the actual general election, which has got to be before next January, hasn't it? So it's January 25, I think, in statute. So who knows? But it will be lots of speculation between now and then. There'll be lots of calming people down. There'll be lots of stopping people making expensive mistakes. Because the flexibility is one thing, to be able to run your own money and control things. But if you do it wrong, you'll pay a lot more tax than you need to. Probably pay more charges than you need to. And then you'll be sitting with money in the bank account. And when interest rates come down again, which they will, then you'll be getting a lower rate than it looks attractive at the moment.
We've been running a poll on Shropshire Business Magazine, asking businesses a series of questions about 2024, one of which is, when do you think the general election should be next year? Spring, summer, autumn or winter?
That's a good question.
73% of people said, let's have it in the spring, let's get it done.
Really? I can't see that.
I can't see it. I think they'll leave it
unless the economy picks up enough by then that it's a good news and there's a picture, and then if there is a budget, there can be some giveaways, and then that'll be fresh in the memory at that point. There's a bit too much carnage at the moment, isn't there? Still.
Yeah, I suspect some of those were more party politically motivated, weren't they? Those. But,
yeah, always. Yeah.
So assuming you've been good this year, Nick, what would you like Santa to be delivering for you on Christmas Day?
I just want to be happy and healthy. I want to spend good time with the family, have a good break. We've worked hard this year, collectively as a practice, we've worked really hard. There's been lots of headwinds financially, the markets, the world, there's been lots going on with wars and inflations and political chaos. It's been a perfect storm of all sorts of things that could be happening. But actually the markets have been okay latterly, because there's a talk of the Fed dropping interest rates quite soon into next year, and America is a massive marketplace. In most of our managed portfolios, if they're medium risk, probably 25 to 30% of the money's in America, so it has a big impact. But also in global returns. So it's good to see that positivity coming through. I'm hopeful for a cautiously optimistic 2024. That's my take on it. Always.
Good to end on a high.
Yeah.
Have a great Christmas.
Andy.
Thanks for your support this year. I look forward to seeing you in January.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot,
Thank
Nick.
you.
Cheers.
A huge thank you and a massive Merry Christmas to all of our sponsors, exhibitors, suppliers, visitors, volunteers, demonstrators, performers and press. 2023 has been absolutely epic with you involved in it. Here's to an even betterer 2024. Lots of love from Beth, Sid and the Shropshire Festivals team.
Was the night before Christmas, in an office so still. Not a keyboard was clacking, the screens had their fill. The Christmas tree sparkled, lights twinkling so bright, casting warm festive glow in the night. Bertie, our cherished companion in holiday gear, nestled cosily by, his Christmas spirit clear. In the techies' build room, where magic's usually made, the tech was now silent, the tools all well laid. In the corner, a fireplace crackled with glee, a real fire burning, as merry as can be. Its warm dancing flames in such stark contrast here. Among routers and cables, it brought festive cheer. Though the night was so peaceful with all tucked away, our techies alert, ready night as by day. For even in slumber, even at rest, ensuring each network is running at best.
Well, you can thank AI for all those wise Christmassy words. Hello to everyone. My name's Dan. I'm the CEO of EPX Technical Services. We've been looking after IT in this area for the last 20 years, and it is absolutely our privilege to be able to call ourselves your IT department. Thank you so much to our customers, to our colleagues, and to our suppliers for giving us the opportunity to all work together. I wish you a very, very Merry Christmas, fantastic New Year, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in 2024. Thank you.
So there we go, some Christmas messages in there as well from local employers. We've got some more of those to come. In a minute, we're going to be talking to Andy Begley, the Chief Executive of Shropshire Council, reflecting on some of the things that have happened this year and looking ahead to some of the challenges and opportunities in the county over the next 12 months. First, though, we thought we've been out and about so many places this year, so we thought we'd put together a bit of a roundup of where we have been. And you think,
where have we been?
Well, we've been North Shropshire. We've been on location in Market Drayton. We've been to Ellesmere.
Yeah.
You had some gin in Ellesmere.
Yeah.
ACO in Oswestry have hosted one of our outside broadcasts.
Yeah.
Out and about around Telford, Wellington, we did the business festival at Wrekin College, didn't we? Fantastic building. We all like a bit of snow at this time of year, don't we? And I went to Merrington Hall near Cherbury, the start of the year, when it was snow on the ground and it was chilly, but spectacular scenes there. So yeah, industrial estates, historic properties, all sorts of things.
We've been around Shropshire. Should we take a look at some highlights?
Let's take a look at some of our highlights from 2023.
Hello and welcome to this month's edition of Shropshire Business Live TV. We've come out and about this month. We're at Shropshire Business Festival.
Well, here we are at the absolutely stunning Merrington Hall. Now, it's just outside Cherbury in West Shropshire. I'm joined by Chris Morris from Morris & Company.
Well, you join us now at Endor Fitness on Vanguard Way in Shrewsbury.
Tracy Woods from Shropshire Council is with us. Hello.
Hi there.
So, Amy, we've had a chat with Carl. We've found out your journey, and here we are then on Ellesmere Business Park.
So we've come backstage at the Shrewsbury Club here to the player zone with Dave Courtine, the man who, well, you know everything about what's happening here with this tournament.
Welcome to the July edition of Shropshire Business Live TV. We've come out of the studio and headed to Oswestry.
So here we are at Telford's International Centre on the day of the Shropshire Chamber Business Awards. It's just gone 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and as you can probably see, we're right in the middle of rehearsals. So here we are at the Flax Mill in Shrewsbury.
We've just heard about the beautiful historic place of Shropshire, which is really important. We also have a lot on our minds as well about things that are going on in the world.
Apprenticeships do form part of that, but that's not our only method of recruitment. So we've been hiring apprentices since the 90s. But it's been more structured since around about 2018. So since 2018 to date, around about sort of 10 to 15% of the entire ACO workforce is made up of existing or previous apprentices.
Literally just arrived.
I've literally just arrived after charging my electric car 3 times to get to Shropshire. It's lovely to be here in Shrewsbury, my first time ever. And from what I've seen in there already, the number of businesses, the community around business, I can't wait to speak.
I couldn't leave without coming out here and having a look at this fascinating monument, because I believe this is the reason that this area is listed, isn't it?
Yes, no, correct. So this is an ancient sundial. There's lots of various iconography on here, from Knights Templar crosses to owls. There's even a skull up here, and there's a date on the side here of 1505, which certainly suggests that it's been around for a very long time. The hall itself is 16th century, so this is likely to be older than the hall. But yes, because this is classified and listed as an ancient monument, that also then encompasses the whole property, so the hall is also classified within that listing.
Connor, you've got such a great location and facility here.
Thanks, Chris. We've just moved. We're actually at the top of a storage building for the last 4 years, so having an individual unit is a godsend.
So when did you start the business?
So we started the business about 5 years ago, this coming December.
So there you go. There's some of the highlights of us being out and about over the around the county over the course of the year. You forget about some of those things.
You really do.
We're now delighted to be joined here by the magic of Zoom, Andy Begley, Chief Executive of Shropshire Council. Great to see you, sir. What does Christmas mean to you? Have you got a busy Christmas planned this year?
Good to see you both as well. Yeah, it's always a busy time of year for us, particularly in terms of just finishing off the calendar year and the financial year. So in terms of the council, we're trying to make sure that we come in on budget for this year, and then of course we've got to start to set the budget again for next year when that formally gets formally agreed by full council February and March. But of course we've got to go out to consultation, and you'll have probably heard a lot about that in recent days. So I guess that's occupying a lot of our time at the moment.
And of course we've got 2024 is going to be a year of a general election as well, which brings its own uncertainties from a planning point of view, doesn't it?
I think that's right. I think there's risk and opportunity, I think would be the best way of describing that. But again, it just adds another layer of uncertainty to what is already quite a volatile environment for us all to operate in, really.
And I mean, it's been an eventful year for all local authorities around the country, hasn't it? I mean, I guess if we're looking at highlights from Shropshire's point of view, the collaboration with other local authorities in the Marches region is a major thing, isn't it? I mean, what's that going to mean to the average person in the county? What will they see, do you think?
Well, I think that's a fantastic achievement, really, because it was something that we've worked really hard of. Colleagues have worked really hard putting that together over a number of months and liaising with other authorities. And it's the first time this has happened. So we've actually got 2 English authorities and 2 Welsh authorities working together, calling themselves the Marches Forward Partnership, which is fantastic. And what it is, the easiest way of describing it is a really kind of flexible vehicle that we could use for all sorts of purposes. So it's based on that, dare I say it, that common sense approach where we've got activities that happen across borders. And of course, people don't necessarily recognise those immediate borders between ourselves and Wales or between one authority's areas of responsibility and the next. And so there's a certain that common sense element is where are those overlaps? Where could we help each other deliver services? Where could we help each other deliver major projects, particular capital projects? And then how can working together, how can we start to really pique the interest of government and beyond in terms of those perhaps investment opportunities, those growth opportunities, looking at economic development and growth as well. So a mixture of kind of bricks and mortar, the building work, those capital projects, some of the infrastructure work, some of the service area work, and bringing all that together. And it's a really flexible arrangement in that it's not contractually binding in that sense. It works when it works and when it should work and doesn't need to otherwise. So it's a real positive, and it's engaged people in a fascinating way, to be honest with you, and attracted a lot of positive attention. So we'll see the formal launch of that. I think we've got a date penciled for the end of February, although we had a kind of signing event in November at Hay Castle there. But we've got an event at the Theatre 7, which we're hoping will really kind of set the stall out for what that partnership might achieve.
So this is good news, really, isn't it, for residents of all the council areas that are involved?
Absolutely, because again, I think it's going to help individual councils working together. The idea is it will cost less, and hopefully you'll get much better service and much better kind of response from your individual council by working collaboratively where it makes sense.
Does the cross England-Wales border issue cause any dilemmas? Because you've got different devolved powers, haven't you, on one side to the other in some areas?
Yeah, and I guess the simple answer would be to say yes, it does. So let's not bother. But I think the point about this is you've got like-minded authorities who are saying yes, there are differences, but how can we work with those differences in order to make a difference, if you excuse the phrase? But I think what it's done, it's galvanised people into seeing those opportunities. And again, I keep going back to the common sense bit, because just because somebody lives on one side of the street and the other shouldn't make a difference. And so working together should develop those opportunities. And the other thing that's really important that I guess I didn't realise from a personal note was just how engaged and interested both governments would be in this development. And that's been a fantastic spin-off, and really, again, hopefully a very positive one. And going back to your earlier question, I think no matter who comes into political power in the future, this is always going to be an issue, and that border issue. Don't forget, Shropshire's got the largest single border with Wales. So again, it wouldn't be smart of us not to recognise that and not to understand how we can make that work better.
We've been out and about around the county with Sbltv this year to some industrial areas like Tern Valley Business Park, down to Bishop's Castle, lots in Shrewsbury. Even though we're seeing surveys suggesting that businesses are cautious over the what's planned for the current year, there's lots of investment still going on in Shropshire, isn't there?
There's a fantastic amount of investment and innovation, Carl. And I think you were both there at the business breakfast, and that, if you ever wanted to see that in action, it's there. And I'm always astounded by the kind of conversations that develop from those meetings, and astounding to see that just the the spread of enterprise, ingenuity, innovation across Shropshire. And you're right, 1,200 square miles, it's a big area to cover. And whether you've got Bishop's Castle, whether you've got Oswestry, they're very different places. And it's for us, I think the council's role in this is evolving all the time. And it's a lot more subtle than it's ever been. And I think it's about how do we enable, how do we kind of gently steward, how do we facilitate and support those enterprises? How do we support that economic development, recognizing that Shropshire is quite different from other areas? Sure, we have some big, fantastically successful operations based here, but likewise, we have hundreds, if not thousands, of much smaller organisations, normally sort of 5 people or less, that really drive our local economy. And again, we are just littered with success stories up and down the county. Many of them you've covered in your programme and magazine.
Talking of success stories, and I know modesty will forbid, we've got to say congratulations to you for your shortlisting for the Leadership Award. When do you find? Is it early New Year? You find out about whether you've hit the jackpot with that one?
Yeah, I think so. I think the next time we're here is at the awards themselves. So yeah, thank you for mentioning that. It was it was a team that managed to do that under the radar. So I was equally surprised as anybody else to receive the news of that one.
That must be quite nice though, that for the team to feel like they want to do that for you though.
Yeah, very complimented by that. Yeah.
What does the new year hold then, Andy, from your point of view? Is Christmas a time where you reflect on the year that's gone, or are you too busy looking forward to what's happening? Do you get a chance to regroup, to switch off?
Yeah, I think it's important. I do try and encourage the organisation just to slow down a little bit. I think there's many parts of the council that still work over the Christmas period, because clearly we've got some 24-hour, 7-day-a-week services, and that's important to recognise. From a personal perspective, try and take a little bit of a break. And yeah, it is important. We've been kind of running hot. We've been really trying to get everything organised and set. And that's a constant cycle for us in the public sector in a slightly different way than it is for the private sector. It's just the way we're wired. So this time of year is particularly frenzied in terms of that activity. So to have a few days just to calm down and think about it. But that reflection very much gets focused, and I'm already doing that, on the following 2 or 3 years. And in terms of an organisation, what do we need to concentrate on next? Where do we need to go next? Where do we need to influence, to change? What do we need to be as an organisation to make sure that we're flourishing, so that we can again support the people of Shropshire in the correct way? So lots to think about, but yeah, I'm hoping to have a couple of days with perhaps a beer and a turkey sandwich might help.
If you'd written a letter to Santa, what would you have been asking him for this year? I guess maybe a decent settlement that the government has sort of given this week. Were you pleased with that news?
I'd like to say that I'd be pleased with that news. If I'm being perfectly honest, no, I'm not, because it's a drop in the ocean. When you actually net it out, in terms of you remove kind of what our council tax already is, then actually that uplift is fairly minimal, just a matter of 1% actually, I think is what that looks like at the moment. And being frank, it's just simply not enough. So I know we shouldn't be too serious about things at this time of year, but that is a very serious subject, that this underfunding really causes us such difficulties that we've got to continue to deliver our essential services, predominantly around children and adults social care, and then we've got to make ends meet with the rest, which is such a huge challenge. So yeah, I think if I could ask Santa, I'd say, can you have another think about that one, please?
Is that one of the things that you think greater bargaining power will help with, in terms of the collaboration of multiple local authorities, in terms of having a stronger voice to lobby about these kind of things?
I honestly think we've got to think about the problem in a different way, and this is just one of a different way of approaching a solution. And I think as a sector, we've got to think much more innovatively, much more expansively. How do we generate different conversations? How do we, from a personal perspective, I'm really interested on talking with one voice from Shropshire as an economy to government, and again having a different conversation there about what we can offer to the agenda of the day, and therefore how can we attract investment, whether it's from government or whether it's from the private sector. And again, thinking about things in that broader sense, conversations I've been having with chief execs and business leaders up and down the county, and they seem really interested in this agenda. So hopefully for the new year, we'll be starting some of those conversations in earnest and perhaps developing that really positive narrative that builds on all the assets that we've got in Shropshire and all the stuff we can trade on and the world really needs to know about.
Absolutely, yeah, we do need to shout about Shropshire, don't we, and get people investing in the county.
That's it, and I think that, again, there are so many opportunities for that. If we just think a little bit more laterally about that, how do we package this up and approach a global market, really selling Shropshire in that way? I think there's the obvious stuff, the bricks and mortar stuff, but how we trade on our natural assets. Tourism is an obvious one there, whether it's the 7-odd million people within an hour's drive of us, or how we're doing all the fantastic work about getting people to come and stop with us in Shropshire. I mean, that's seen a huge increase in a real positive sector. But I think there's the other stuff that we hide under a bush a little bit. The second largest producer of green energy in the country. We've got so much around agri-tech, again, building on our natural environment as much as anything else. So you combine that with real innovation, that with a fantastic place for that work-life balance, and you've got a really inviting, an appetizing proposition that we can talk to investors about.
So lots to get your teeth into for the new year, as well as a turkey sandwich and a beer over the Christmas period, then, by the sound of it. Andy, thanks for joining us. Thank you for your support and input this year. And on behalf of all the team at Sbltv, have a great Christmas and we'll see you in the new year.
Great talking to you. All the very best for Christmas.
Thank you, Andy.
Now.
Thanks, Andy. Andy Begley there, Chief Executive of Shropshire Council.
Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year! 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 Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year!
Welcome back to Shropshire Business Live TV, our festive special here from the Yarrington Studios in Shrewsbury. Delighted to welcome our next studio guest who's dropped in to see us, Marcus Matthews from Make Your Life Count. Now, at this time of year, Marcus, people sometimes put on a really brave front, but you never know what's going on underneath the surface. Some people find Christmas easy, some find Christmas really hard. Yeah. And your business is involved very much in sort of getting under the skin of what's really going on in people's heads a little bit, isn't it? Just explain what you do.
Yeah, I do something quite unique. So if you imagine fusing therapy and coaching together, so see it as like a Venn diagram, that's where I work. So I'm a life transformation coach and clinical hypnotherapist, and I help people find the root cause to why they feel the way they do. Because most interventions out there are around logical things. So you know certain things, so you have beliefs and you have stories that you tell yourself that create feelings. Well, if that was the truth, you'd probably figure it out, right? So I kind of answer the question, why do I feel the way that I do? Because logically, life shouldn't be like this.
And is Christmas, or maybe it's all the aftermath of Christmas, I guess, from your point of view, when people are reevaluating their lives, is that quite a busy time, or a fertile time from your point of view, when people are thinking about this kind of thing? Or?
Yeah, I think it always makes me chuckle, because at this time of year, you're waiting for people on the 1st of January to set their New Year's resolutions that you know that they will never stick to. And that's one of the reasons that I asked that, why did they do that? And it's really interesting. Was at the AGM, the Chamber AGM recently, and somebody was asking me why. I did, and they were asking me questions. I just kept asking, why? And they got to the point when they went, well, I don't know why. I went, that's what I do. I help you answer that question.
Sounds like you could have been a journalist as well. In another life. So how much of your work is in Shropshire then?
Very little, which is quite sad, because I'm very passionate about local. So for me as a business owner, I want to be investing in other Shropshire businesses. I'm really passionate about the Shropshire Pound and Shropshire PLC. The majority of my clients are probably Birmingham, London, New York, LA even. So I would probably say, I'd probably say 80% is within the UK, and then I would say the rest of it is major cities and places like London, Manchester, Birmingham.
And I'm guessing there's no such thing as a typical kind of client from your point of view, is there?
You know, most people only have 3 problems. I'm not good enough, I'm different, and that's not available to me. And those 3 things are normally the driving behaviours. And then they normally have what I call the 4 thieves of happiness, which is judgment of themselves or others, shame, guilt, and validation. And we get wrapped up in this kind of this ego of trying to prove ourselves, and we can't walk what I call the path of authenticity, where we can be our true selves. And in an ever-connected world, we're probably more disconnected than ever.
And at a time like this at Christmas, that's a time sometimes when you are being almost challenged to do what people expect you to do, isn't it? And that's one of the big issues, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's what can cause people so much stress. I mean, I'm not a great advocate of the word mental health. I prefer mental fitness, because mental health, like anxiety, has become like you Google something or you Uber it. You know, it doesn't mean anything anymore to people. So I'm all about empowering people to understand why they feel the way they do, because your body and your mind is there to protect you, and it's doing exactly what it's supposed to do. So when people think about anxiety, when they think about imposter syndrome is a great one, right? Is that those reactions that we get in our body is just our body trying to communicate, but it doesn't understand language. So what I help clients do is to find the root cause of why the body is acting in the way that it is, and give it a voice, really, so they can release that feeling. Because 95% of all behaviours are driven by emotion, right? You don't think anxious, you feel anxious. So once we can get rid of the feeling, then the story now has no power.
There was a survey a couple of months ago that I read which shocked me, saying something like, was it 75% of people experience imposter syndrome at some point in their lives, which surprised me. But then when I thought about it, actually, it's only acknowledging to yourself that it's happening to you, isn't it? So
yeah, and I think that's the biggest thing. I mean, from my own personal journey, I would never have thought that my mental health was in a bad way. And it's quite funny when you go to networking events and people have got to do their 60 seconds.
Yes.
People get worried.
Some
about
people don't sleep the night before.
I know, this is my point.
It's crazy.
So, but that is a form of anxiety. It is a form of poor mental health. But we tend to define mental health as I've now crashed, burned, and now I'm being seen by the world. So I'm all about preventing that and empowering people to understand their thoughts, their feelings, and how they can move through that very, very quickly and easily.
And I guess the nature of what you do means that client confidentiality is important to a lot of the people, so you can't name drop people. But I know you did work with Kerry Katona. Was it early this year? That was
no, actually, no. It was about 12 months ago.
Yeah.
I mean, 2023 has just flown
It's
by.
by.
Kerry was probably one of the easiest clients I've ever worked with. And the funny story, actually, when I worked with her, I went to her house. I did say, do you want me to sign an NDA? Because obviously I know there's been lots of things in the press. She said, no, it's fine. I said, okay, we're working with Kerry today. No going on Instagram, no putting it all out there. Anyway, we did the session, went to her kitchen, and she was straight on Instagram. And it was so funny because I'd got very few followers, and then within 24 hours, I'd gone over 5,000 followers. The statistics were so funny. So she's been a great advocate of of supporting what I do, and I've worked with other celebrities and kind of athletes and people like that. But again, it's client confidentiality, so you can't say who it is. So that's always a challenge when you're running a business.
What's the plan for the business? You know, if we're to be sitting here, say this time next year, where would you hope to be? What would you hope to have achieved?
You know, my real passion is that many years ago, I worked for Shropshire Council, and I worked on a project called Switch on Shropshire, which was all about getting broadband.
Broadband, yeah, I remember that one, yeah.
Yeah, so I was one of the lead technicians, so I've got an IT background before I joined the police. And there are so many amazing, innovative, brilliant businesses in Shropshire. And so for me, I'd love to do more work with local businesses, you know, big businesses, and keeping the Shropshire pound in Shropshire. You know, if I can help a business leader to understand their staff, if I can help them reduce their sickness rate, then they're going to be better businesses. So if they're paying me to do that, their business grows, my business grows. I can then invest my money back in a Shropshire business. So everybody wins. So I'd love to be having a conversation in 12 months' time to say, I'm working with more Shropshire businesses, I'm helping them support their staff, their leaders, so we can build an abundant Shropshire.
And do these sessions that you do they have to be one-to-one, or would you do maybe, sometimes is it a group sessions, or how does that work?
I primarily do work one-to-one, but I am very much open to doing more group work. I can do that. Interestingly, at the moment, I'm going to be doing a retreat, but that's going to be in Pennsylvania in the USA.
I'm not sure we can fly over.
Yeah, we can fly over. So if anybody wants to join,
zoom you.
yeah.
Business
We'll
expenses.
yeah. But I'd love to do something like that. I'd love to do a retreat. So I'm really open to, you know, serving my client base, the business of Shropshire, the people of Shropshire, in whatever way serves them, and having this opportunity to talk about what I do, hopefully will be a catalyst for people to find out more.
And what's Christmas got in store for you then? How do you have traditions? Do you put pressures on yourself at Christmas then, or not?
Do you know what? I try not to, and it's quite interesting that I think as you get older, I don't really want it. I don't want anything.
Yep.
You know, a nice glass of something, some nice food, spend some time with the family. I'm going up to my mum and dad's in Cheshire, so that's where I'm going to be spending Christmas, and then coming back and just chilling out is what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to try and
Is this trying, is it? Because we always end up getting carried away doing a bit of work.
Is that your New Year's resolution? That's what I want to know.
I don't make New Year's resolutions.
I thought you might say that, to be fair. Well, look, I hope our paths cross again at some point in 2024, and you'll have to keep us up to speed with what you're up to. It'd be great to see you. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
Welcome back. Well, it's time now to welcome our friends Jane and Laura from ACO. Are we festive ready, guys?
Absolutely. Yes, we are.
Good.
Yes,
all ready.
definitely.
So we're kind of looking back in this show at what's gone on over the year. So another busy year for the team at ACO then?
It's been a really busy year. There's been a lot of changes. We've had some new people come on board, which is great. It's really nice to have, bringing new people through the business. Really busy year, and we've been really busy ourselves.
When we came up to see you and we did our live show in the summer, Laura, you were just about to start this new job in the community team, weren't you? So how's it gone? Bring us up to date. What you've been up to?
Yeah, it was great. I love my job. I love my role. It's very different because I was in 7.5 years in finance, so it's very different. Very rewarding.
I was going to say, is it more rewarding?
It's so much rewarding. It's it's completely different thing, and be part of CSR to give back to kids and community, to all elderly people or any youngsters, is just amazing thing to do, and you can reflect on it, and probably me personally as well, taking back something for my own personal life, with my own kids to look at some stuff differently than I would.
I mean, I've seen on social media this week, Jane, you've been swamped by young people watching films at ACO this week, haven't you? Christmas films.
Yeah.
How's that gone? It's the second year you've done that,
isn't it? It is, yeah. So it was popular last year, but we thought about it last year and thought there's not an awful lot going on in December where the business is concerned. There's not a lot of events going on, so let's open the auditorium up to local schools. It worked well. So this year we thought, right, we'll
bring it forward. We sort of launched it in October, and we actually had schools that were asking us that had been the year
Really?
before,
That's
are you going to do
really
it
good.
again? Can we bring the children? Absolutely, yes. So we've had 500, well, after this afternoon, 500 children from local schools and colleges. They could choose a film they want to watch.
They choose what they want, do they? Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah. So we'll.
What
we'll
have you had?
live
All
stream
festive
it.
films, are they, or is it all sorts?
Most
Yeah.
of it was the Grinch. I think that's the popular one.
I guess you've been sat in the office listening to it over and over again, have you? While it's been going on.
Well, yeah, unfortunately we can't, Neil did say, you girls sitting there watching the film. I said, no, we're sat on our laptops working in the other room. But
Well, you could hear it.
Yeah.
You can hear it going on, you can hear the laughter, and it's lovely. It's really nice. I mean, you know, a lot of children don't get the opportunity to do these sorts of things, so if we can help in that way, then we
It's
will.
one of the great ways, isn't it, that ACO does get involved in the community. And of course, you had your event earlier this year as well, didn't you? Which was another success.
Yeah, the events for...
You did the event, was it the
summer,
charity
wasn't
event
it?
you
The
were
celebration.
supporting?
Oh, the festival.
Celebration, the
Yeah,
festival,
yeah.
yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
the festival, yeah.
Yeah,
Which was another
yeah,
great
really good
one.
fundraiser for 2 local charities. Yeah, that went really well. Yeah, December's been brilliant for us. We've been working with Little Stars, so that was one of
I
the
was gonna
charities.
say, it was one of the charities, that's what I was thinking of.
Yes.
Because you've been helping, they've done their Santa Stars, haven't they?
So Santa's Little
Santa's Little
Stars.
Stars, yeah.
3rd year running, I think
Yeah.
now. So we've supported Leanne all the way through that, really. And this year, over 400 referrals from families that really do need some support. So we've been donating presents, we've been fundraising on Christmas Jumper Day, and we've been helping wrap all these presents.
I
It was-
saw
it was
some
chaos.
photos. There were so many presents, which because there's been a lot of donations. There was drop-off points, wasn't there, in various
There were
locations?
in Darwin Centre, and there
Yeah.
was
Can't
one
remember
estate
what it was.
agent in
It was an
in
estate
Shrewsbury.
agent in
Yes.
Shrewsbury, wasn't it? Yeah.
Probably a supermarket
Samuel
as well.
Wolves, that
Yes,
one.
yeah. And
Yeah.
so, I mean, all these have been donated. So then obviously wrapped, and then we'll be going out to those needed. And I know I spoke to Leanne the other week, and she's met with the Princess of Wales, hasn't she?
She did,
She did.
And
Amazing.
that was a great experience. And then she was off to the Christmas Carol concert, which is going to be shown on Christmas Eve in
Yeah, I saw
ITV.
that last night
So,
advertised on
and that is a
telly.
great way for her to also spread the great work
Yep.
as well that's taking place, isn't
Yeah,
it?
she's working with a lot of different baby banks as well now.
Yeah.
So you're broadening that support, and they're all learning from each other on what works well, which is really
And
good.
the
So
great
she's-
thing is, she's had that support from you as well.
yeah. So we continue to support the work that she's doing because it's fantastic.
Yeah.
How many
And
presents do you think you've wrapped then? So far?
Gosh, well, it would have been about four.
Yeah,
probably
because
more
it's
actually.
more because every child got probably about 2-3 presents.
Yes.
Depends on how big they are. So if it's over 400
Yeah.
referrals, then more than that.
Are you good at
Yeah.
present wrapping then?
They are now. By the
We are
sound
the
of it.
pros now.
If I could just get a roll of, kitchen foil and maybe wrap them out. I'm rubbish at present wrapping, so that wouldn't be for me.
Yeah, my husband's a bit like that. Too.
Yeah.
Now, Laura, if you forgive me for saying so, you don't sound like you've got a Shropshire accent.
No.
So, what's Christmas mean to you? Do you observe different traditions, different family traditions?
Yes,
here
so I'm
then,
from
or-
Slovakia. My husband is from Poland, so we kind of combining 2 different traditions plus with English traditions for the kids. So yeah, we're celebrating Christmas Eve, 24th. That's when Santa coming to our houses.
So you get in first.
So we are the
I
first
see.
drop-off. Yes, and then we have a Christmas dinner. And if we are not here, if we are back home, then we will Christmas Day and Boxing Day spend with families as well.
And
But yes.
is there a traditional Christmas meal? as
So
well?
our Christmas meal is fish, is the carb.
Yeah.
So it's very different from what you got turkey, and all sorts of different dishes from cabbages, either red or normal cabbage, or lots of dishes with mushrooms, poppy seeds. So yeah.
What do you make of our English traditions?
Comment on that. No, it's nice. No, it's nice. It's different. It's different, you know. But it's nice, yeah. I mean, Boxing Day, it's nice that, you know, it's relaxed and everything.
Is
And
it a time for you
Day,
to
I
be
would
with the
say, is very
family
busy.
then? A real family time for you?
Oh yes, definitely.
Yeah.
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 What about you, Jane? What's Christmas mean for you? What do you have particular traditions and habits and?
Turkey. Basically. We've got Christmas at home this year, so myself and husband and family. So I'm cooking Christmas dinner, and then friends around on Boxing Day. And think I'm doing a New Year's Eve party. I think it's just been arranged. So yeah.
Arranged for you, is it?
Yeah. Yeah, that'll be fine. So yeah, I just want to spend some time relaxing and go out for some walks. Yeah, be good.
Recharge the batteries and then start again in the new year. I mean, there is a serious message though, isn't there, that ACO wants to get across at this time during the end of the year. I know we talk about a lot of the community work that you do, but the home life safety issues are never more prevalent, are they, in many ways than at this time of the year?
Yeah, I mean, we'd always sort of talk about. I mean, it's a business, life safety, fire safety, life safety. It's crucial, and this time of year, it's things like the Christmas tree, the lights, overloaded sockets, candles, all these things to be aware of. So we do push that out a lot on sort of social media and things. So
and it's little things, isn't
be
it?
aware.
Like, if you've got a real Christmas tree, make sure it's got plenty of water, because if it dries out, that is a fire hazard, isn't it?
That's right.
Yeah, turning off the lights if you're going out.
Yeah.
So
make sure the candles are blown out, little things like that. As you say, overloading plug sockets, we're all just getting those double adapters and think, oh, it'll be all right. But yeah, you've got to be careful, haven't you?
I shorted the electric out when I put our lights up this year. We're going to put them out at the front of the house, flick the switch inside, bang, off goes the light. So, some fuse had gone.
Have you been to buy some new ones?
So, of course, yeah. Mrs. Jones insists we have to have something new every year from a Christmas light point of view. So we're running out of plug sockets to put them all into. What about the new year then? I mean, I know we want to not get Christmas out of the way too quickly, but you've got already. We talked about your community awards and your apprentice awards that are already well up and running, aren't they? How long have people got still to get their entries in for your apprenticeship awards?
So the deadline for the awards is 16th of February. So that will soon be here.
It will be, yeah. It'll go so quick when it's get your entries in.
Absolutely. There's some new categories this year. So, I mean, the awards in 2022 were a great success. So we've looked at that and thought, right, we can make this bigger, we can make it better. So we're hoping to have 400 people there on the evening. Which is the 18th of April, I believe, at the ICC in Birmingham. As I said, some new categories, Rising Star Awards, sort of celebrating sort of success within social housing industry. As you say, Apprentice of the Year, Lifetime Achievement Awards.
And again, even though this is a national competition, with you being a Shropshire-based business, we all want to make sure that Shropshire is flying the flag nicely and healthily, don't we? So
absolutely, yes. And for those people that are doing really fantastic things within the community, they need to be recognised. So yeah, we're looking forward to it.
So plenty to look forward to then from ACO in 2024. It sounds strange saying that, doesn't it? 2024.
Flies very quick.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Listen, guys, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been brilliant having you on the show, and thank you for appearing on the show throughout the year as well.
Thank you very much.
Good to see you.
Christmas.
See you soon. Have a good Christmas.
Thank you.
Shropshire Live. News and entertainment for Shropshire. Shropshire Live.
Now, we don't want to bypass Christmas altogether just yet, but our two guests now are here to talk about something that's happening in January specifically. We've got Ruth and Kelly from Shropshire Chamber of Commerce. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
Are you ready for Christmas? That's the first question.
Yeah, all good to go. I just need a shirt like yours.
These take months. This is tailor-made, imported from Thailand. This is the best silk. You can't order these off the shelves. What about you, Ruth? What's Christmas mean for you? Do you have a busy household?
Very busy household, yes. It will be non-stop, I think, and very loud. So be looking forward to going back to work.
There's quite a few people that think that, isn't there, I guess?
So we're coming up. How close are we to your first anniversary as Chief Exec of the Chamber?
It'll be 1st of April next year, so 9 months.
How's it been so far?
It's been interesting. Yeah, I think it's anything, isn't it? You would like a new job, but when you get there, it's a bit. Ooh.
Have you found a few more challenges then that you thought maybe, or have you embraced those challenges?
I embraced challenge. Yes, I think it. it keeps things a bit more alive and stuff. But I think it's other people are struggling, and Chamber is all about helping and supporting people. So I think, you know, sometimes you do feel quite responsible for trying to help and find those solutions as well. So it's an interesting journey.
The results of the Chamber's quarterly survey have been in the headlines, haven't they, this week? And that talks, doesn't it, about how, you know, some companies are finding things quite tough at the moment.
Yeah, I think when you speak to quite a few different people, there are people being laid off. I think when you take into consideration the minimum wage increase, that's hitting people, you know, and there are redundancies going on even just before Christmas, and sort of some planned after Christmas as well, because people just can't afford all of the utility bills and all of the costs and everything. You know, something has to give. So
it's kind of coming at us from all angles at the moment, isn't it? That's the problem.
Yeah. I guess there's been lots of stuff brewing in the background, hasn't there, since COVID? People maybe using up their cash reserves and things like that, and now suddenly they've got wage inflation.
Bounce back loans and things, and you know, people have been paying that back, and you know, when you're paying back something but you've still got increasing costs this side as well, it's hard to balance, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
But that doesn't mean we haven't got things to celebrate here in Shropshire, which is one of the reasons for putting the Shropshire Chamber Business Awards together again for the 24th year.
It is, yeah, 24th year.
Now, I remember talking to you after the awards in June, and I said, so how long does it take before you start prepping for next year's? And you said, next week.
Yep.
So where are we at? Bring us up to date.
Okay, so we are looking forward to our launch, which takes place on the 25th of January. So we've got some new changes. So we've got a new venue, which is the Mercure or Brighton Hall Hotel. And during the evening, we'll be launching our new look website, which will be in detail showing you the processes for applying for an award, the judging process, how to book your seats and your tables. And we've also got some new categories to look out for as well, because we just want to involve as many Shropshire businesses that we can.
Because that's one of the things, isn't it? For people that have maybe never been to the awards or never entered, it's important to get across, isn't it? This is not just for Chamber members, is it? It's
no, absolutely. It's for members, non-members, all businesses of all sizes, and we really want to get out there this year, or next year, and just let everybody know you can all enter. You've all got the same chance as each other, and we really want to raise people's profile and just shout about the great work that Shropshire businesses do.
It is a celebration, is it, of the Shropshire business community, and that's what I love about it, to be honest.
So what's the main objective then for the launch night on the 25th of January? What actually happens there?
We want to get across to businesses exactly what's involved within the Business Awards. So you will have the opportunity to hear from past winners, judges, sponsors, just to see how their involvement has affected their business, how it's raised their profile, their journey. You can come along and speak to the team. As I said earlier, we'll be launching our website. So from that date, you can actually then apply for an award or book your seats and book your tickets. It's all about just letting everybody know everything. There is so much to know about the awards, but everything that will be going on.
Are you looking for sponsors as well then for the awards this year?
We are. We do have some sponsorships that we have filled already, because people just know how it's just a great opportunity to raise your business profile. But we do have further opportunities available. Again, come along and you can come and chat to the team, and we can just see what would be suitable for you and your business.
I guess, Ruth, one of the most important parts about an awards event like this is transparency, because it prides itself on being independently run. Although the Chamber runs it, it's very much the process is done by independent judges, and it's explaining to people just, you know, that this is just fellow businesses judging each other, isn't it? And it's
there's a criteria that is followed, which we're going to try to make a little bit easier to make sure that when people are applying, that it's an easier process for them to make sure that they capture all of the criteria. And then the judges go round, and they are independent judges, running their own businesses or employed by another Shropshire business. Not necessarily members either. We have non-members actually doing the judging as well. We have no partake in it at all. All we get is the result, which has got all the scores through and stuff. So, you know, we can give feedback if needed, but it is all independent, so it's a big job.
You're just the queen of the spreadsheet.
I am. Spreadsheet's on the go already.
What you do, isn't it? So, what do companies tell you that they get out of winning a Shropshire Chamber Business Award? What does it mean?
It's fantastic. The buzz in the room when they've won, and when they speak to you after months after, the whole evening, and just that they can bring their team along to celebrate, the profile raising they get with it, the speaking to other businesses, and just everything as a whole, it's amazing, and it's just great to see from the other side.
I know when we won our award, didn't we? And that was, for me, to go on stage and receive that award, just honestly, it was brilliant. Such a highlight, fantastic.
I mean, I'm in a very fortunate position, being compere, standing on stage. I see the scale of the hall. You look out there, and you think to yourself, this is Shropshire here. You know, we've had up to what 800-900 people some years. It's always 600-700. It's a massive event, isn't it? I mean, you addressed the awards for the first time this year, didn't you? So did you see it from a different perspective?
Definitely. Yeah, it does look a bit different when you're actually at the front.
Yeah.
I mean, you get that panic of, am I going to trip up when I go up?
And your long gowns going up those steps. Yeah.
I think it's special because I think I've seen it from the other angle when I not entered the award, but I did go to the business awards as just a passerby type thing and stuff, and it is a wow factor. But to think that that's actually Shropshire businesses celebrating what they've managed to achieve. We have some people go that are just literally taking their team out to celebrate. They haven't applied for an award, they haven't actually sponsored it, but they're taking the team out to help inspire others and their team to show what Shropshire really is all about.
It's a great night though, isn't it? From the moment you walk in, to when the evening winds up, after you've done a bit of dancing afterwards, Carl's on the dance floor.
You speak for yourself.
It's a brilliant evening.
It is great when everybody enters the room and you just hear their comments, and it's just a big wow, and it wasn't expected, and it's fantastic to hear that when you've put in so many months of work. It's fab.
So actually, just to be shortlisted for an award means that you're actually having your company profiled in front of hundreds of key Shropshire business people, isn't it? I'm not saying you've won, then you know what I mean. You are a winner immediately, aren't you? If you're being profiled like that.
Yeah.
So now the launch event, it's free to attend, isn't it?
It is.
Do people have to register in advance? What time does it start? Tell us all the mechanics about it.
You can book on the Chamber website to book for the evening, or drop me an email and I can book it on your behalf. If you wanted just to turn up on the night, you're more than welcome to.
But you'd love to know how many people.
Yes, I would. But I would never turn anybody away. But yeah, it's a free event, and as I say, you hear all the information about the awards, and also we will be offering an early bird offer. So if you do come to the the awards launch, you'll find out all of the information, and you can take advantage of that offer as well.
And entries will open on the day of the launch.
We'll launch the website during the launch evening.
How long are they open for then?
They're open until the 12th of April to get your award entries in, and then you can book your tables up until 1 week before.
And one more date for the calendar then. When is the awards night?
The 21st of June at the Telford International Centre.
I knew you'd know that one.
It's in a spreadsheet, Carl.
Absolutely.
It's all in the spreadsheet.
I believe
it's on countdown.
I believe what I said. Thank you for coming in to see us. Have a great Christmas.
Thank you,
and look forward to seeing you in January. I'll dress a bit quieter for the awards launch, I think.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Well, folks, that's just about it for our Christmas special, Shropshire Business Live TV. Thank you for joining us today, and indeed, thanks for joining us throughout the whole series. It's our 4th Christmas special, series number 4. I'm not quite sure where the time's going.
It's whizzing by, So from both of us, have a good Christmas.
We do like to play out with a bit of music on these shows if you've seen it before. Now, last year we had Adrian Hill from Morris Lubricants giving us his latest instalment of Eric the Turkey. This year we are going to Albrighton for a group of locals who call themselves Pop Next Door for Christmas. And this is not just a Christmas song, but it's got a really important message which sort of tallies in with something Marcus was talking about a little bit earlier. But most importantly of all, it's raising cash for charity. If you go onto the Just Giving page, you can see how they're trying to support the Albrighton Trust Moat and Gardens, which supports people with learning difficulties. So we will leave you with the group from Albrighton, Pop Next Door for Christmas. Have a great one. We'll see you in the new year.
The street is cold and empty. Everybody's got somewhere to be. Frost on every corner and the skies a concrete grey. Just around the corner there's a place that's safe and warm. A place if no one knows your name, the welcome all the same. Pop next door for Christmas. There's far too much loneliness around this time of year. There's a few steps that you can take to help your common friend. This won't be our last Christmas, do for plenty more. Look after your friends and your family, and don't forget those next door. Pop next door for Christmas, room inside for more. Pop around for Christmas, knock on your neighbor's door. Pop next door for Christmas, grab yourself a beer. Pop around for Christmas, offer them good cheer. Pop next door for Christmas, room inside for more. Pop around for Christmas.